Happy astrological period, Taurus. Welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. What I like to do is to do a romance reading, specific base reading for you to cover you from now until the end of the month. And Taurus, to save down on some time, I've already shuffled a deck and displayed your layout as we see here. Okay? Let's go on and make a few general observations prior to getting into your reading here. Just looking at your arrangement of cards here, it seems that we have an abundance of major arcana cards here. So, Taurus, this means something. And what it means is that your situation pertains to a considerably momentous matter. And it indicates that your question may be extremely significant and powerful. And in fact, Taurus, the hand of destiny may be controlling this matter. Okay? Let's look at a few other things here. Okay, now we're doing a romance type reading, so you would expect that there would be some cups in this layout, wouldn't you, Taurus? But there are none. There aren't any. So this also means something. This means that, this shows a frivolous crush, perhaps, that isn't really substantial enough to kind of constitute a true emotional connection that you have. Romantic intentions might be best suited elsewhere or kind of focus inwardly. Taurus instead. It looks like one of the loves that you have is more of a frivolous type crust and is going to end up sabotaging you. Equally valid, I'm feeling that the object or perhaps your affections may not be as interested in you at present. Perhaps it could be because of past hurts. And, additionally, I'm just looking here, I don't see any pentacles. So, Taurus, that also means something. This suggests that your situation may be unstable. It might also indicate, perhaps, Taurus, unemployment, poverty, or really missing material goods. And so let's look. Finally, there are no swords here either. Okay? So this indicates, Taurus, stagnation or a lack of boundaries or structure may be problematic as well. A lack of challenge may lead to boredom. So miscommunication may also be present as well. Okay, let's look at your number trend here. Okay, I added up all of the numbers here, and I come out to the number of 8, which is the quintessence, it's justice. So therefore, the counsel, Taurus, is to kind of take on some responsibility, really to kind of check things carefully and really decide in a wise and deliberate way. And then always keep in mind that, Taurus, you reap what you sow. So since the prevailing numbers are kind of fairly high here in this reading, it says that you're reaching the end or the conclusion stage of this matter. Okay? Let's look at a few combinations prior to getting into your reading. We have the King of Wands here, and if I were to combine that to strength, that is quite likely to be a Leo. We also have the Ten of Wands here. We also have the Strength card there, and we have the King of Wands. So that represents a physically strong type person. Okay, let's look at a few elementary dignitaries. So when one element, Taurus, is combined with another, these two elements kind of form a reaction which can kind of result in either a positive, negative, or really a neutral type effect. Okay, let's look at this King of Wands here, and let's combine that with Judgment. So that's pretty much air combined with water. So, Taurus, when air is coupled with water, these two elements have a tendency to kind of strengthen one another. So the effect here is really strengthened. And the intellectual characteristics of air, Taurus, mingle with the emotional sensitivity of water. It produces creative ideas. A touch of water mixed with air can kind of form a fine mist, which creates a sense of refreshing coolness on a warm day. However, if that same water becomes too heavy, Taurus, the mist is going to give way to kind of heavy humidity or showers. And for this reason, then, it is kind of essential just the right amount of water be mingled with air to kind of ensure a positive outcome. And this, certainly shows, some smooth flowing here. Then if we were to look at Judgment here, and we were to combine that to Strength, that's pretty much water with fire. So when kind of fire is mixed with water, Taurus, much care needs to be taken to kind of ensure that these two elements really don't weaken each other. So when emotions are really mixed with energy, a melodramatic emotional outburst can kind of occur really if really a proper balance is not really maintained. So the activate is really inherent in those cards, really inherent in fire can kind of generate much creativity towards when it's combined with the sensitivity of water. Okay? So now we have the strength and justice card. So that's more so fire and air too. So the element of air tends to, like I said, strengthen fire. You know? And then we also have fire with fire. So but when you have fire with fire, it tends to have more of a neutral effect on most occasion because these elements, when the elements of fire are combined, it kind of indicates that much energy is put forth into really business matters. And although fire, when combined with itself, is kind of said to be beneficial, Taurus, too much fire can become explosive. So for this reason, then, it's really essential to kind of properly use the vast amount of energy that is really inherent in, really the suit of wands there, or the element of fire. Okay, let's jump right into, to looking at your reading, and starting off with your bottom card. Okay, we have the moon that falls to the bottom, and the moon denotes Pisces. So this card is really all about inner disturbances or disquiet or Taurus feelings of foreboding or dread, and really a very perplexing, changeable, or deceptive course of affairs, and really whatever area is really kind of most important to you at this time. This card says that you want your dreams come true or for things to kind of go smoothly, but Taurus, you have a feeling that they are not. It says that your thinking is going to be muddled and you're going to be troubled by feelings of dread, deception, or foreboding because you can't really see your way clear on any level. And you have a terrible feeling that you're going to lose out or be disappointed. This card says you're going to be disillusioned or disappointed, it looks like, in a relationship, Taurus, that you thought would work out but didn't. You're going to be crushed by a huge disappointment because someone or something you kind of know is going to let you down and it's going to completely devastate you. But this card is really saying that you should trust your intuition and feelings and respond with your heart, but not being misled by appearances and kind of empty promises to kind of get in your way. You may even find yourself, Taurus, torn in two ways by kind of different demands and people. And watch what you say and be careful what you promise, really with this card, because there's going to be many unforeseen changes and unexpected occurrences. And Taurus, only when you're willing for things to kind of be the way that they are and really accept them as they are will they change. Because you certainly can't run away from the problem because the only way out is through. Because always remember, there's a law of balance operating in a universe which demands quality. For every win, Taurus, there must be a loss. For every happiness, a sadness, and for every positive move, a negative challenge. You cannot have one with the other. It would be just like trying to separate day from night. So be neutral and follow your inner light. So let's move right along and look at what the reading is about. Okay, you have the King of Wands here. And that refers to a fire sign. It can be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, male or female. But this king represents really a confident person with willpower, a taste for enterprise, and really a high amount of enthusiasm. Either a hot-blooded male or female has stepped into your life, Taurus, or kind of introduced new adventure and suspense for you, or you are asked to kind of display your fiery side and to kind of take the initiative and to arouse somebody's enthusiasm. Taurus, further yet, it could also be that a confident, passionate male or female is disturbing your relationship. And it could just as easily be a fire sign type temperament. So it says you're going to feel you have no one to lean on for comfort and nowhere to kind of turn to for help or support. However, Taurus, in any event, a new relationship or partnership is gonna look like it might be has the potential to be established, but it looks like you might need to let go of one of them. That's very frivolous, and that's not going to get you to where you would want to be. Perhaps something new that just started, a relationship, instead of maintaining the status quo with someone that you had prior to moving on to someone else. Okay, let's move right along to your next card and look at what moves you internally. We have Judgment here. All right. So Taurus, with judgment, Pluto rules Scorpio. So Pluto, for those of you who kind of know Greek mythology, this or Hades to the Greeks kind of became the god of the underworld really after Saturn's overthrow. He took Proserpina, she was a goddess of spring and into the underworld and so brought winter into the world as her mother, Ceres, the corn goddess, grieved. He agreed to kind of let Proserpina return to the world for 6 months of the year, but for the other 6 months, she returned to the underworld while her grieving mother brought winter into the world. So Pluto is associated with endings, with removing what is kind of redundant, to herald really a new beginning, with hidden and unconscious power, especially psychic abilities, with hidden and unconscious powers. So it really is the ability to kind of start again, even in difficult circumstances, and perhaps with financial astuteness and business acumen, but occasionally with a really seedy type lifestyle, Taurus. So this card is an astrological aspect, kind of emphasizes a need for you to kind of wipe the slate clean and to kind of leave behind resentments and regrets and the behaviors of others, however justifiable. It therefore says you long to be redeemed from an old prison or old problems. And you also know that the time is high now. So you feel that there's a good opportunity in your relationship to kind of undo difficulty now or to have a unique and deeply enriching experience. Let's move right along and look at how your lover sees you in this situation. And the card that falls in that position is Strength. So Strength refers to Leo. So this card depicts the taming of wild forces that is kind of effected in a nice and caring way, and hence, Taurus, it represents a union of civilized man and his animal nature. So it also means vitality, passion, lust for life, and reveal engagement. So therefore, Taurus, your lover sees you as lustful, passionate, and looks like easily inflamed. Okay? And let's move right along and see how you see your lover. Okay, and the card that falls in that position is Justice. And Justice refers to Libra or Libra type temperament. So this card is an embodiment really of well deliberate judgment. It's a wise decision that was very carefully considered. So Taurus, moreover, it makes clear that we ourselves are responsible for what we experience. It points out that we again and again we reap what we sow. Therefore, you see your lover as being upright and might even seem a bit cool and reserved at times. He or she simply needs some time to kind of come to a judgment to really be clear about what he or she wants. But Taurus, in any case, you can rely on his or her fairness with regards to this situation. Let's move right along, Taurus. Your last card here to give you a bit more advice. We have the Ten of Wands there. So with the Ten of Wands, Taurus, Saturn is in Sagittarius, okay? So Taurus, this 10 stands for challenges that you, at least at this time, feel overwhelmed by. And it could potentially be overwhelmed by a Sagittarius type person. It could be male or female that I feel that really is wasting your time. Okay? Now, either you are really not up to it or you do not know how to kind of handle things more adeptly. And Taurus, maybe the problem is simply that you take on too much because you think you have to manage everything on your own. So with that said, this card kind of asks you to kind of push it to the limits. Even if it means trying out something you thought impossible up until now. Do not let yourself be confused, or even if you temporarily do not know how to carry on. Because your involvement, it appears, is going to be rewarded. And it says be determined to kind of have what you want because the goal is really within reach. And don't accept mediocrity. Really chip away all that isn't perfect and you're going to have what is. And because I'm feeling in business or material affairs, it looks like you need to wait until the proper action becomes evident. And until then, I feel that you should persevere or finish what you started. In matters of the hearts, however, I feel you should not waste your time on an impossible relationship. But I feel that you're going to persevere in spite of difficulties, burdens, or really financial problems until things are resolved completely or really the way that you want them. And a new venture is going to be that perhaps might ease a lot of your previous tension. So, Taurus, this is what I have for you today. So, for those for whom this reading was meant for, I would certainly like to hear your comments and see how this reading applied to you and affected you. I certainly hope it offered you food for thought. And for those Taurus who have yet to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to do so now. And for any of you who would like to have more of a personalized reading, you can certainly contact me at WAT61073 at gmail.com. I look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you.